Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halayim Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Arachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and taught us his truth. Honors and salutations to the elect, and to the men that died doing the work of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, because they shall arise first. To the men, women, and children that believe on the true name of the Father and the Son, which the Father's name is Yahweh, he exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, he is the deliverer, because he's coming to deliver us out of this captivity that we're in. My name is Maka Allah Bun Gad Bun Yasharala, with the Church of Philadelphia camp here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Coming back at you once again with another lesson. And I don't even know what I'm entitled this, but I think I might entitle it Nothing New Under the Sun. And I'm going to go into the book of Genesis, the 6th chapter. This is when Noah was on the scene, and everything was getting out of control to the point where Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai wanted to destroy this place, and he did. He destroyed it by water. All right, and that why I say history is nothing new under the sun. History repeats itself because you look at the times that we're living in right now, and the same things are going on. All right. Nobody's worried about Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. They're not concerned about his coming back. Yahweh Shai's coming back. They're not concerned about the destruction of Babylon. And if they think about it, they think it'll never happen in their time or in their lifetime. Hey man, we living in those times right now where, you're seeing the prophecies be fulfilled. Just total chaos throughout the whole earth, you know going into the book of Second Ezra, the 15th chapters and the 16th chapter, speaks about that. Also, you can go to Second Ezra, the 9th chapter. Okay, but without further ado, I'm hop right into it. This is Genesis chapter 6, starting at verse 1. It says, "And it came to pass when men begun to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them." All right, so hey man, men are still multiplying on the face of the earth now. All right, but you have these Edomites. It's so many people multiplying that these are elites. They're trying to keep the what you call it population control. All right, they don't want people to be born and everything. And they've been trying to do this through like the AIDS program, condoms, the scare tactics. All these different plagues they're putting on people to knock them off, man. You know. But the men are still multiplying. It says that the sons of God, the Most High power, saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. All right, so the sons of God is talking about the Israelites, man. That's what they called us before we were called Israelites. And this is before Jacob, because Jacob's name became Israel after he wrestled with the angel. You know, all night and prevailed. So before Jacob was on the scene, we were still here, but we were known as the sons of God instead of Israelites. All right. So it says, "And Yahweh said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years." And before that, we were when Adam and Eve were created. Adam was first formed. The Lord actually intended for us to live forever. All right, that's what He intended for us. But since Adam and Eve went off, now we were susceptible to sin, which causes death. Because the scriptures tell you the wages of sin is death. So that's why we die, man. You know. And matter of fact, it tells you in Apocrypha, I believe it's in Sirach, it says because of the woman we all died. All right, because she was first in transgression. All right. So she was the first one to sin, and she passed it on to Adam, and Adam took it. Okay, so now that's the reason why we died. But the Lord says 120 years, and now you don't even see 100. Back then they were living longer than that. The men was living 1,000 years. Well, the closest it was supposed to be 1,000, but Methuselah was the closest to get to 1,000 years. Men was living 500, 600, 700 years old, some 800. All right. So men was living longer lives back then. Okay? But now we're getting chopped down because the earth is weaker through age. All right? But this is verse 4. It says, there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, where the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. And the same became mighty men, which were of old men of renown. All right, so let's get that word, old and renown. So the first word, Salakia. The first word we're going to get, matter of fact, we're going to get the giants first. Let's tackle that first. Because some people think that they were actual giants. You know, you had giants like Goliath and stuff like that, but these people thinking that men were like, I don't even know how to say, but they thinking giants, you know, like what's that the beanstalk shit. But it says giants and Nephilim. So now when you really go into the word, it says let's get it let's get it like this.
Strong's H 5303. Naphil.
So they said Nephilim. All right. Let's go down. Here it goes. It says Naphil. It says Phil from 5307, properly a feller, i.e. a bully or tyrant, gyrant. So you had bullies back then, tyrants, man. You know, because the sons of God had power, man. You know? And you had these other nations that was just they were tyrants, man. They were straight tyrants, you know? The same way they are now. There's nothing new under the sun. All right, now let's get it says there were giants in the earth in those days, and it's bullies now, you know, Esau being the main one. It says, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, and mighty men which were of old men of renown. All right, so we're gonna get old and renown. So we're going to get old first. And you got the word old, Salakia. Now here we go, the word of old. Okay?
Strong's H 5769. Olam.
It says olam.
Olam.
It says long duration, antiquity, futurity, forever, ever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old, ancient, world, ancient time, long time, for forever, always, continuous existence, perpetual, everlasting, indefinite, or unending future, eternity. All right. So, hey, what does Israel have? Or the sons of God have? You know, we're going to be a world that lasts forever, man. A world without end. You know, and that y'all and our ancestors from back then, they're coming back. Well, they're reincarnated right back now. You know, all the prophets and everybody here right now, and those are the men. They're from old, man. So what? They're gonna have that kingdom that lasts forever. That's the promise from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak. Now let's get that word renown, because this is a good one right here. All right, the word renown.
Strong's H 8034. Shame.
Which is Shem. If you look at it, it says name, reputation, fame, glory. The name as designation of God, the Most High. Memorial, monument. All right. So these were famous men. Okay. The sons of God and their children, they were famous men. They were of renown, of old. Just like you had Abraham. He was of old. Okay. Lot, he was of old. He was famous. Their name rung bells. They had reputation. Salakia. All right. Going into the scriptures and all that. So it says, and the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Now look, let's fast forward to 2 Timothy. All right, we need 2 Timothy chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. To show you, there's nothing new under the sun. It says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, dispersers of those that despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of the Most High." So they was doing the same thing back then, right? They're doing it now. All right. So it's nothing new under the sun. You know, some things never change. And guess what? And that's why that the ancient world got destroyed for that. And that's why this world right here, now this is going to be the second death. This place is going to get destroyed for the same exact reasons. But this place is even more wicked because it takes on the traditions of all these other different nations, that's been destroyed. All right. So it says, verse 5, "Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. For such turn away." So having a form of godliness. So our people, having that form of godliness is some of they have morals, some of them, to the extent where, like, if a man cheats on a woman cheats on a man, the man want to put them both to death, and that's having a form of godliness, because that's actually in our laws, man. Some and people, some of our people, they're not with that, let's say the alphabet community. They're against that, man. And some of them want to put them to death, and that's having a form of godliness, hating those things, man. But hey, man, but it says, "Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away." But they deny that they're Israelites. They deny Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Hakodash, the same way they did back then. All right. It says, for of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women, laden with sins, led away with divers lusts." And these women, man, they're silly. It says they're led away with sins. They're laden, Salakia. They're laden with sins, led away with divers lusts. So they have a lot of sin. They sin a lot, man. Like I had the woman. It was a woman on I think it was TikTok, if I'm not mistaken, and she was saying, if you and your boyfriend, y'all have to be real close. She said, if y'all not eating each other's butts, having sex on the period and all that, you're not close enough. That's wicked as hell, man. That's wicked. That's laden with sin. And led away with diverse lust. That's a diverse lust. Let's get that word diverse, man. All right? Because this place, man, this place is sickening. And that's why the Lord has to destroy it, man. Put the reset button on this place. All right?
Strong's G 4164. Poikilos. Poikilos.
All right, and that's the word for diverse. It says of various colors, variegated. If I said it right, it says of various sorts. So that's a lot of different sins. All right. So let's go back. So that's a lot of different sins, man. These women, they commit adultery. That's diverse sins, man. Diverse lusts. They sleep with women. All right. Some of these women sleep with animals. That's why this place, hey, man, this place is wicked, man. All right. Verse 7. It says, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Ever learn? You have some of these people, they've been taught, they're learning, but no, how they learn? They learn like they go to colleges, these just for schools, they get trades and all that. They ever learning, but they never come into the knowledge of the truth, which is the ultimate learning, man, which is the ultimate knowledge. All right? That's the ultimate, man. All right? Uh Matter of fact, it says, I'm gonna read verse 8 and 9. It says, now as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. So they don't have no knowledge. They reprobate concerning the faith. They resist the truth. They rather follow corrupt men. It's men out here with corrupt minds, and they're distorting the truth. But you have these people, they rather follow that than follow the real truth. All right, the whole truth, the 100% truth. Which starts with the apostles of GMS. It says, but they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs was also. So the Lord is going to expose them. All right, these people are about to get exposed, which they've been getting exposed. But the Lord is going to put an end to all that. All right. So let's jump back into where were we at? Back in the Genesis chapter 6, we were on verse 5. Go to verse 6. It says, and it repented Yahweh that he had made men on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And Yahweh said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and creeping things, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. So the Lord was like, man, he ain't saying he made a mistake, because the Lord don't make mistakes. He was like, damn, I gotta destroy these people, man. They getting out of control. But Noah, see, and out of all these other different nations and everything running wild, because he created them to do so, all right? One man found favor, just like you have the elect now. They found favor with the Lord, man, with Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Chakwadash. And that's why they're going to be delivered, the same way that Noah was delivered. He was delivered in a physical ark. Now we're being delivered it's going to be an ark. The ark is being put together now, but the chariots is the ultimate ark. When you being lifted up in there, because right now it was a lake, it was a water, it was a flood. All right, now you're going to have a flood of fire. Okay, you're going to have a flood of fire. Okay, matter of fact, let's grab this real quick. Isaiah 20, Shalakia 9 and 5. All right, so you're gonna have this. Just like I said, it's gonna be a fire, a lake of fire. All right, this is Isaiah 9 and 5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." All right, so this time the Lord is going to destroy this place with fire, man. All right, there's no getting around that. The Lord is going to destroy this place with fire. Why? Because he promised that he wouldn't destroy the earth again with water, and that's what the rainbow represents. But you see, these people perverse that. All right. So back in the Genesis chapter 6, going to verse number all right, we're at verse 8. It says, "But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh." These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man. See, a just man, it means he was upright. Okay? And perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with the Most High. So Noah was the one of the only ones that was after seeking the Lord, man. Because he knew about his power. He knew who he was, man. All right? And if he knew that, he also called on his name. All right? It says, and Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before the Most High, and the earth was filled with violence. Same way it is right now. Okay? It's filled with violence. All right. It says, and the Most High looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. You know, and this flesh is changed to darkness. It's filth. All right, it's filth. So let's grab Hebrews 11:7 real fast. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 7. All right, and I'm bringing this out because it's about faith, and this is why we have to have the same faith now. All right, we have to have faith to know that the Lord is going to destroy this place. All right, so this is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 7. It says, by faith, Noah being warned of the Most High. So he was warned, right? And by faith, he was warned. No, he was warned of the Most High. We're being warned now, and we're warning you about the things that's coming. And there's nothing new under the sun. So Noah was telling these people the same thing, you know? And what? They wanted to be scoffers, you know? In the last days, it said there shall be scoffers. These were the last days back then. Now you're coming to the last days again, but this is the second death. Which the second death, that's it. It's not going to be no more death for Israel. All right? It says, by faith being warned of the Most High, of things not seen as yet. So we haven't seen the destruction of Babylon yet, but it's coming. All right? You have to wait for it. Be patient. Okay? Because it's coming. The same way Noah, they haven't saw rain back then. So they thought it was a joke. You know? I'm going to start that again. It says, by faith, Noah being warned of the Most High of things not seen yet, moved with fear. And how do we persuade people now? With fear of the Lord, man. All right? He moved with fear. He feared him because he respected him. Now let's get that word fear. All right? Here we go, the word for fear.
Strong's G 2125. Ulabeamai. Ulabeamai.
It says Elabeamai, move with fear. It says to act cautiously, circumspectly, to beware, fear, to reverence, stand in awe of. So he moved what? In fear. He was circumspect. He was cautious because he had to do what the Lord said to do. And we're going to get into that as far as building the ark and everything. And we have to do the same thing now. It's ways that you have to conduct yourself. All right? And the Lord is telling us these things. All right? It says, move with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house. All right? And we're building that spiritual ark now to say what? So our people will be saved. We want our families to be saved, you know? But it starts with the man. Okay? And it has to be the man of the elect. You know, you're going to have your 1/3 because they have faith in what the elect is saying. All right? It says, by the which he commanded the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. All right? Which is by faith. And it tells us without faith it's impossible to please him. And also it tells you with the faith without works is dead. All right? Let's go to Peter chapter 3 and 20. Salakia. It's the book of Peter, chapter 3. And we're going to go to verse 20. And it reads, which sometime were disobedient when once the long suffering of the Most High waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was a preparing, wherein few, that is 8 souls were saved by water. All right. So back then, and that's a low number, man. All right. 8 souls were saved. All right. So now you fast forward to now. You're going to have a small remnant saved. All right. A small remnant saved. That's your 144,000 chosen, which is your elect, your government of Yasharallah. Then you're going to have what? Your 1/3, which is it's an innumerable number. But compared to Israel as a whole, That's a small number, man. You know? Verse number 13, it says, And the Most High said unto Noah, The end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Said, I will destroy them with the earth. So the Lord, he was furious. He said the end of all flesh. And guess what? We back in that time now. Right here in Babylon. We're in Babylon. The daughter of Babylon, right here in America, man. And this place is going to be destroyed with fire. That's why I told you in the scriptures, what was written aforetime is for our learning, for our understanding. All right? And that's why I'm going over this chapter right now. Right? For our learn our understanding, because the Lord did it before, he's going to do it again. And if you don't believe it, then, hey, man, I don't know what to tell you. All right? This is verse 14. It says, Make thee an ark of gopher, wood, rooms, Shalakia. Make thee an ark of gopher, wood, rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. So he's giving him specific instructions, and that's why we brought it out in Hebrews and in the book of Hebrews. All right, it says, And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. So he's giving him specific instructions, the same way we're giving specific instructions now. And you have to follow them. It says, a window shalt thou make to the ark, and in the cubit shalt thou finish it above. And the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower second and third stories shalt thou make it. And behold, I do bring a flood. See, the Lord is telling you, him. I exist, Yahweh. Right? It says, and behold, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth, and destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. All right? Everything in Babylon going to die, man. Everything. Unless you're of the elect of the 1/3. Everything here is going to die, man. All right? And rightfully so for the disobedience, the disrespect to the Lord, man. And for following after your enemies, man. All right? It says, But with thee will I establish my covenant. So he did that. He established his covenant with Noah. All right, and he's always establishing. Now we're going to get a new covenant, which what is perfect, because it's going to be what written on our inward parts. This covenant that he gave to Noah is the same covenant that we're going to get, except we're going to have it written on our minds, man. So you can't go off. All right, because these bodies is prone to go off. They're made to go off. But with these new bodies that we're coming into, we're not going to be able to go off, man. We're going to be perfect in the sight of Yahweh. All right? It says, And thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. See, so this whole family was saved, man. Through the faith of Noah, man. In the obedience of Noah. Okay? So, how much more was now? And Noah represented the elect in that time. You see? So his family was saved through the faith of him. So you have to have that same faith right here. You know? You can't go following after your woman, what your woman wants you to do. No, you follow what the Lord wants. All right? You don't follow after your children or none of that. Why? Because you're the head of your household. In the same way Noah's household was saved, yours can be too. If you're a part of the elect. All right? Verse 19, it says, And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. And see that the Lord even had mercy on the animals and the insects and everything, because he had to, bring things back. Because he could have just created it all over. you know, but he chose to do it this way. And guess what? He could do whatever he wants to. It says of the fowls of the air, of the fowls of their kind, of and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. Two of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah according to all that the Most High commanded him to do. Salakia. God, the Most High commanded him, so did he. All right? So that's what we have to do. Everything that the Lord commanded us to do, to go out on highways and hedges. You know, take care of the sheep. You know, all these things is a requirement of us, man. All right? So what happened back then is going to happen again, but this time it's going to be with fire. So let's go to Revelations chapter 21 and verse 8. This is Revelation chapter 21 verse 8. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 6. And he said unto me, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is authoress of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abomination and murderers, Salaki, and the abominable and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death, which is coming to Babylon. All right? And all that I just mentioned, all that the scripture just mentioned, that's who's going to partake of that. And you even have men that know that they're Israelites that fall in this category. All right? The same way back then. There's nothing new under the sun, man. There's nothing new under the sun. All right? Let's go to Revelations 20 and 14. I'm going to close out on this because I got to get ready for the plant. All right? Matter of fact, let's go to Revelations 20, and I'm going to start at verse... Hey, let's go to verse 10. We're going to go all the way down to verse 14. All right, it says, hold on. All right, we're going to start at verse 10. This is Revelation 20, starting at verse 10. It says, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are. So that devil is talking about, Esau, man. All right? Because he deceived the whole world, right? And it says the false prophet is talking about your Roman Catholic Church, because they are the false prophet. Now they're saying that the Lord's not coming back. They the ones doing all these homosexual acts, and things of that nature. It says, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast, and the false prophet, which the beast, is, you could interchange that with NATO, ancient Rome, with the NATO, the EU, and all that. It says, and the false prophet are and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. It says, and I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. And there was found no place for them. So they were scared when they saw Yahweh Shah coming back. All right? And they're going to be scared. Men's hearts shall fear them for fear. All right? It says, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whomsoever was not found written in the book of life, was cast into the lake of fire. And what's that book of life? Yo, we're reading out of it. This is the book of life, man. You know, these people want to be a part of the dead, which is Esau's dwellings and all that. Their doctrines. It's all death, man. All right. So if you're not found worthy to be delivered out of the second death, hey man, you're going to die right here in Babylon. 2/3 of Israel is going to die right here in Babylon, man. And with that, I hope that this lesson was edifying. I hope you got something out of it. And to the next lesson, I'm going to say, Mawaf Abad Babal. Mawaf Abad Babal. Shalom. Yasharala. Stay strong. We almost out of here.